Hey, it's MK, and I am here with Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, and today's sketch is created by Claudia Henderson. I'm actually going to stretch this sketch into a 2-page layout. I really do love this sketch and all of the... Actually, I was drawn more towards the colors within the sketch that Claudia used for her sketch. So I pulled out the Pretty Little Studio, I think it's Grateful Heart collection. For these particular photos, and then instead of doing 2 pages like I had originally planned, I just planned on stretching it across the entire layout. For 2 pages. So I've got pictures of my mother-in-law and her wedding, and then the other side of the pictures will be my children that she made part of the wedding, which I thought was awesome. So these are the 2 papers that I picked out for the Grateful Heart. I plan on using this Reads as a solid paper for my photo mats, and then I am going to actually put the entire layout on black cardstock. So I've got these 2 black pieces of cardstock that will be the base of my layout. Now, when I first put this together, I was like, wait a minute, what's this florally piece for? I don't understand, and I can't make that span across 2 pages like I was thinking I could. But in the end, I do end up making it work, and I do love how it looks. So I'm dumping out all of my leftover bits from my previous Grateful Heart collection. Now, I got this collection in a page kit, and I've been really working hard at trying to use it up. The papers are all gone. All I had left were these embellishments. I also have mixed in with the embellishments some Rosy Studio floral pieces and whatnot that I got from another page kit. And then that teal looking label, I'm not really sure. I know it was a fussy cut, but I don't know from where. I believe it might have been, you know what? I don't even want to say because I don't remember. I'm not sure. I know that it was a cut apart though. It was one of those label sheets that you had to cut apart by hand. So anyways, just going through all of my Rosy Studio pieces, all of my labels that I have left over from Pretty Little Studio's Grateful Heart collection. I also have these black pieces that are from Close to My Heart. Now, these are kind of cool pieces. They're laser cut chipboard pieces, but they're not thick chipboard. They're super thick paperboard is what Close to My Heart calls them. And I am pretty impressed because they've got the thickness and stiffness of a chipboard, but they're just not as thick, so not as dimensional, and they still keep your layouts nice and flat, which, you know, for some, that's a big deal on what they add to their layouts. And so I've been trying to mention that throughout my process because I know I love dimension. I love adding texture, and I love adding dimension to my layouts. But I do know that some people veer away from that because they want more pages in their albums and have to buy less albums, which I totally agree with that as well. So I definitely wanted to point that out, that these laser cut paperboard pieces are perfect for that. If you're looking or ever wanted chipboard, but it's always been too thick, or you could always, you know, disassemble your chipboard and rip a few layers off of it to thin it up, which I've done in the past as well. Especially some brands, chipboard is just way out there, like super, super thick. So anyways, I was going to start with cutting up my my Reads as a Solid paper. I forgot the name of it. I apologize. Until I realized that I probably should cut down my photos because there's a lot of dead space or a lot of backs of people that I could cut out and focus more on what's really going on in the pictures. I unfortunately was not able to attend her wedding. I feel really bad now. I felt really bad, but I had made previous plans, and normally when I make plans, they're years in advance because of the fact that I have to, prepare for a business, right? To leave for a business, because I don't have associates to hang out at my house and say, hey, take care of my business while I'm gone. So I have to do a lot of planning and prep work if I'm going to be gone for anything. And this was an impromptu wedding, which is how her and her husband absolutely loved to do things. They just loved to wake up in the morning, or Friday night, get off work and, hey, let's go for a drive. And they had this tent contraption attached to their truck. And I'm not exactly sure how it worked, but it was attached to their truck to where they could just leave at a moment's notice. The truck was the tent, and Bob's your uncle. They're in the middle of the woods and they're out camping, or they'll end up in our backyard, and not literally the backyard of my house, but in Nevada. And all of a sudden they'll wake up from camping and go, hey, let's go visit my son. Let's go visit the family. And they're there within half an hour of our house. And it's like, that is so awesome. They're just very impromptu people. And it was just amazing to have them like that. And so their wedding was impromptu as well. And I felt really bad that I did not cancel my plans. And anyways, enjoying the wedding. But it was super fun because even though it was impromptu, she wanted her grandchildren and her children to be a part of the wedding. So that was super, super cool. And my husband doesn't like to sit up front. He's not one of those people that likes to draw attention to himself. So, of course, these are his pictures that he was nice enough to take for me so I could document this. My middle son, or my youngest son there, he was the ring bearer, which was awesome. Kyrie was the little flower girl, and then William was one of the best men. So that was super, super cool. And then his sister was her best gal, and then of course Kyrie stood up there as well after she dropped all the flowers. And one of the things too about their grandpa is that he loved life. He really, really did. And he expressed it in his t-shirts. He loved loud, bright Hawaiian t-shirts and wore them all the time and whatnot. So it was super fun that, he wanted he didn't want the whole black tie wedding type of thing. He really wanted, everybody to just wear fun, happy, bright colors. And so that was basically what they did. And it was awesome. I love casual weddings like this, that it was no big deal. And then a couple layouts ago, I did one where you could see all their tents and everybody stayed in this, it's not a park, but in this area. So they swam the rest of the day, they barbecued at night, they camped out, until mid-morning. It was just a blast. It was just the perfect wedding for them because, nobody had to rent a hotel. Nobody had to rent, a tuxedo. Nobody had to be put out for, their celebration. And so anyways, I really wanted a bright, fun, cheery, not loud layout, but because if I was going to do loud, I probably would have done, more primary colors, but I definitely wanted that brightness, that they bring with them everywhere they go. And, so anyways, that's why I chose this collection, because I felt like it was the perfect, thing for their celebration. So anyways, because I had no clue why I included that floral print in my kit, I decided that I was going to add a little bit to the layout instead of what looks like she has a border around her main layout. I decided I wasn't going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and just rip out a few pieces here and there, and have this beautiful paper shining through some of those pieces. I didn't really want to go and look for two pieces that would have matched this collection. For one, I knew I didn't have two pieces of this collection to make that happen. And so I just thought, well, how can I incorporate this paper and not make it look like I just added it because I wanted to? And so I always forget about this technique, this ripping of the edges and tucking the paper behind to make it look like you have a full sheet of paper back there. I always forget about this technique, and it's one of my favorites. I really do love how it's, how it looks, and you get to add those bright, fun papers that when used in an entirety, it might be too much, but then you use it in a little bit just like this, and it's just perfect. It's like the perfect addition to what you were looking for. So I'm going to add the last little bit over by my last little cluster. I made 3 giant clusters because I had lots and lots of space left over on this layout to play with. Because I think my original thought is that I was going to leave all my photos as to 4x6 and then make them work across the layout. But then when I realized that I wanted to focus more on what my husband was trying to take pictures of and not the backs of people, then I trimmed everything down, and now my layout ended up being more sparse than I intended it. So I made all of my clusters super, super big. All right, so to add my border, even though I'm not going to add it as a piece of paper, I decided to use my white gel pen. Well, I had trouble with my white gel pen because it finally ran out of ink. Isn't that weird? I actually got a white gel pen to run out of ink. So I had to open up a brand new one, and it took me forever to get it to start actually writing. So I cut all that out because it was a pill. And then I decided that I wanted white splatters, and that was what topped the cake for me. Oh my gosh. I just was like, yay, I'm so glad I decided to do this because now I love this layout. I was like, wow, what a huge difference just a little bit of splattering did and whatnot. So anyways, that is my adaptation to Claudia's sketch. It was beautiful. It was absolutely perfect for these photos. I'm glad that I finally got the photos done. I think this is my last wedding page photos, even though the layouts that I've been doing haven't really been wedding related. Like, this is the only one that's wedding related because like I said, it was just a big huge camp out to them, and they got all their family and friends to camp with them, and it was super fun. Now, it was at a camping area. It wasn't out in the middle of absolutely nowhere. It was a designated camping area in Idaho. So I do know that there was running water and places to shower and facilities and all that stuff, but there was like no buildings, no hotel, no structure, unless somebody went down the street and, did the hotel thing. But anyways, it's super, super fun day. My kids had a blast. I am so sad that I missed it. I really am, but it was super fun. Claudia, thank you so much for such an amazing sketch. I had a blast. Don't forget about the 2 links that I have down below for Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I will check y'all later. Bye.